One click. Honestly, that is literally all it took. A single, seemingly innocent click on an email that looked exactly like it came from Amazon. Within minutes, a 60-year-old retiree from Ohio named Barbara, who was literally just checking her morning inbox, lost thousands of dollars. She just had to sit there, completely helpless, watching her entire life savings be systematically drained right out of her checking account. And you know what the craziest part is? There was no brute force hacking, no complex malware downloaded to her computer, none of that. She simply handed over the keys to her entire financial life, all because she truly believed she was getting a refund. Welcome to the Fraud Files Explainer, where we expose real scams and protect Americans exactly like you. Today's case file could honestly save you thousands of dollars, and it centers on one of the most sophisticated, devastating phishing traps operating out there right now. So let's get right into it.
$30 million. Just let that massive number sink in for a second. If you got an email saying Amazon was ordered to pay out $30 million in refunds, your absolute first instinct would probably be to roll your eyes, right? You'd think, oh, come on, this is an obvious scam. Nobody is just handing out $30 million. You might assume it's just another desperate lie from a scammer sitting in a boiler room half a world away. But listen, that is exactly what makes this specific trap so incredibly dangerous. This number, it isn't a scammer's lie. It is a very real, very verifiable federal government settlement that was forced upon Amazon. And this staggering, true reality is the exact bait being used to absolutely destroy the financial security of Americans every single day.
Section 1. The real $30 million settlement and the alibi.
I really need to warn you up front here, the most terrifying part of this trap is that the premise is entirely true. Scammers rely heavily on your natural skepticism. They know for a fact that when you get a weird email about a refund, the first thing you're going to do is open a new tab and search Google to see if it's actually real. And when you search Amazon $30 million settlement, your screen is going to be flooded with legitimate news articles from totally reputable outlets confirming the entire story. We call this the scammer's alibi. They are hijacking a real-world event to disarm your critical thinking. Because the second you see that the settlement is real, your guard instantly drops. Let's break down the exact verifiable details of this Federal Trade Commission settlement, because understanding this is absolutely crucial to understanding how victims are manipulated. The FTC really did force Amazon to pay out over $30 million. $25 million of that was for Alexa privacy violations, specifically concerning the handling of children's data. And another $5.8 million was for Ring security failures, where unauthorized users were able to access customer camera feeds. If you own an Echo Dot or maybe a Ring doorbell, you see this and immediately think, wait, I'm a victim of this privacy breach. I'm legally owed this refund. The scammers know exactly how many millions of Americans have these devices sitting in their homes right now. So you are the target.
Section 2. Weaponizing the FTC refund and the crime scene.
So the twisted reality here is that the criminals running these syndicates monitor the news just as closely as we do. In fact, they probably found out about this FTC settlement way before you did, and instead of ignoring it, they weaponized it. They took a legitimate government action and turned it into the ultimate bait. They know a generic "you want a gift card" email goes straight to the trash, but an email titled "Action Required, Your Alexa FTC Settlement Refund," well, that creates immediate urgency, doesn't it? It creates a sense of entitlement. They're playing right into your desire for justice and compensation. Now, you might be asking yourself, how exactly does a legitimate government press release become a weapon that lands directly in your primary inbox? Like, why didn't your email provider catch this? Well, here's the absolute genius of their tactic. Your email spam filter looks for malicious links and known scam keywords. But in these emails, the fraudsters actually include real clickable links to the official FTC.gov press release. So when the artificial intelligence scanning your incoming mail sees a legitimate link to a United States government website, it flags the email as safe. It breezes right past your defenses. They literally use the truth as a Trojan horse to sneak the poison right into your inbox.
Look at this comparison right here. Fraudsters are crafting emails that look totally, completely identical to Amazon. It's wild how accurate they are. But to protect yourself, you really only need to remember two absolute rules. Rule number 1, never ever click links in refund emails. Even if it looks 100% official, just ignore the button. Rule number 2, always go directly to Amazon.com in your own browser. Just type it in yourself. Actually, go ahead and take a screenshot of these two rules right now, because if you bypass their links, you completely bypass their trap.
Section 3. The credential stuffing threat, or the weapon.
So what actually happens if you click that fake link and miss the red flags? We're now shifting into the specific technical and honestly psychological trick being used against you. When you click that link, you aren't actually taken to Amazon. You are taken to a cloned website perfectly designed to harvest your username and password.
You type them in, hit enter, and maybe you get a little fake error message saying the system is down. You shrug it off, you go about your day. But behind the scenes, you've just handed the scammers the ultimate weapon against your digital life. This brings us to a devastating cyber attack known as credential stuffing. Let's be totally honest with ourselves here. Pretty much all of us reuse the same password or maybe a super slight variation of the same password for multiple websites. Scammers are well aware of this psychological reality. The exact moment you type your Amazon password into their fake site, automated software instantly grabs that email and password combination and stuffs it into the login pages of Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, your Apple ID, your Google account. In a matter of seconds, they are testing your master key on literally every major financial institution. Handing over one single Amazon password doesn't just compromise your shopping cart, it systematically destroys your entire digital life.
Section 4. Why your money vanishes and the unrecoverable loss.
Let's look back at our real victim, 68-year-old Barbara from Ohio. Remember, she thought she was simply getting a rightful refund for her old Alexa speaker. She clicked the link, entered her Amazon login, and thought absolutely nothing of it. But because she used that exact same password for her online banking, the scammers were inside her checking account within 3 minutes. But here's the thing, they didn't just transfer the cash straight out. That would trigger an immediate fraud alert. Instead, they used a far more insidious method to make sure her money vanished completely, leaving her with an unrecoverable loss. Here is exactly how your money disappears. Once they hijack your Amazon account, they can instantly purchase thousands of dollars in untraceable digital gift cards using the debit card you already have saved on file. Or if they get into your actual bank account using that credential stuffing we talked about, they initiate wire transfers that literally cannot be reversed. And here is the absolute most heartbreaking part. When you realize what has happened and you call your bank in tears begging for a refund, the bank will often deny your claim. Why? Because you willingly typed in your password. The bank's computer system just sees a legitimate login using your correct credentials. As far as their fraud algorithms are concerned, you authorized that transaction. Your bank accounts are drained and recovery is almost completely impossible. The scammers just disappear into the digital ether and the money is gone forever.
Section 5. 5 Vital Protection Steps. This is the shield.
We need a real, honest reality check right now. While there are occasional FBI arrests and government crackdowns on these syndicates, the harsh truth is international scammers are rarely caught and your bank cannot protect you. Law enforcement is simply overwhelmed by the daily flood of these scams. You literally have to become your own shield. So I'm going to give you vital protection steps to arm yourself right now. Grab your phone. Seriously, get it out and be ready to screenshot this next list, because sharing this with your loved ones is quite literally the only way we stop this. Okay, screenshot this immediately. Step 1, never click email links, always go directly to Amazon.com yourself. Step 2, enable two-factor authentication on your accounts. Step 3, use a totally unique password for every single account you own. Step 4, forward any suspicious emails you get to report phishing at Amazon.com. Step 5, use a credit card, never a debit card, which we're going to detail in just a second. And finally, as you can see right there in the corner, if you or someone you know has already been scammed, do not suffer in silence. Immediately report your losses to the Federal Trade Commission at reportfraud.ftc.gov and the FBI at ic3.gov.
I really want to highlight a specific, incredibly urgent warning regarding Step 5, brought to us by cybersecurity expert Boyd Clevis. You must completely stop using a debit card for your online accounts. It's a real game changer. Look at this clear comparison. When you use a credit card, you are spending the bank's money. If a scammer buys $5,000 in gift cards, the credit card company is protected by zero liability loss. They simply wipe the charge clean because, hey, it's their money on the line. But when you use a debit card, you are giving direct access to your actual hard-earned cash. It is linked directly to your mortgage money, your grocery money, your life savings. If a fraudster drains it, your rent check bounces and you are left fighting the bank for months to try and recover your own cash. So please never use a debit card online.
So, what does this all mean? This $30 million FTC settlement was originally meant to protect consumers, but in the hands of criminals, it has become one of the most effective, devastating psychological traps on the entire internet. But you're armed now. You know exactly how they bypass your filters, how credential stuffing threatens your bank accounts, and exactly why a credit card is your absolute strongest armor against them. Subscribe to the Fraud Files for daily scam alerts. Comment below if this happened to you or someone you know, because your story might just save someone else. Stay alert, stay safe. The fraudsters are watching. But now, so are we.